chased after butterflies. He even tried to climb the curtains once. Pepper was a shy calico cat. She liked to stay in cozy spots. Pepper napped in sunbeams. She watched birds from the window. She felt safest curled up in her bed. Oliver and Pepper were very different, but they were both very lonely. They wished for a friend to share their days with. Little did they know, fate had a plan. One sunny afternoon, Oliver was exploring the backyard. He sniffed at flowers and chased a stray leaf. Suddenly, he saw something move under the bushes. It was Pepper. She was hiding, scared by a loud bird. Oliver, usually so brave, felt a pang of shyness. He slowly walked towards Pepper and meowed softly. Pepper peeked out. She was still afraid, but Oliver's meow sounded kind. She took a small step out from under the bush. Oliver, happy that Pepper wasn't scared of him, wagged his tail. He took a step closer to Pepper and rubbed against her. One sunny afternoon, Oliver, the adventurous tabby cat, decided it was the perfect day to explore the tall oak tree in the backyard. The tree had always fascinated him with its sprawling branches and the promise of new heights to conquer. Oliver was a skilled climber, and with each agile leap, he ascended higher and higher, soon finding himself perched high above the ground, surveying his kingdom from a lofty vantage point. Down below, Pepper, the calico cat, watched with wide eyes. Her heart pounded with worry as she saw her friend climb to such dizzying heights. She had always been more cautious and couldn't help but feel anxious for Oliver's safety. Oliver, feeling very proud of his daring feat, meowed down to Pepper with a triumphant tone. "Look at me, Pepper! I'm the king of the tree," he declared, his voice echoing through the branches. He stood confidently on a sturdy branch, his tail flicking with excitement. The world looked so different from up there, and he felt invincible. But just then, a sudden gust of wind blew through the branches, rustling the leaves and shaking the tree. Oliver, caught off guard, lost his balance and wobbled precariously. He clung desperately to a thin branch, his claws digging in as he mewed frantically for help. The once proud king of the tree was now in a perilous situation. Pepper, seeing Oliver's plight, sprang into action without a moment's hesitation. Her worry turned into determination as she raced towards the house. She reached the back door and began meowing loudly, her cries urgent and insistent. She knew she had to get their human's attention quickly. Thankfully, their human was home, relaxing in the living room. The persistent meowing caught her attention, and she hurried to see what was wrong. Following Pepper's insistent calls, she stepped outside and looked up to find Oliver clinging precariously to the tree branch. Without wasting a moment, she knew she had to rescue him. Oliver and Pepper loved to play together, even if their styles were different. Oliver was always the more adventurous one, while Pepper was more reserved and cautious. One day, they discovered a box filled with colorful toys. It was like a treasure chest waiting to be explored. Oliver, the adventurer, immediately pounced on a feathery toy mouse. His eyes sparkled with excitement as he grabbed it with his paws. He batted it around with his paws, tossing it in the air and chasing after it. His energy seemed boundless as he darted around the room. Pepper watched him with amusement, her tail twitching with interest. She was content to observe for a while, enjoying the show. She preferred a small, jingling ball that she could bat around gently. The soft sound of the bell inside the ball was music to her ears. Oliver, in his enthusiasm, accidentally knocked the ball under the sofa. He looked a bit guilty, but Pepper didn't mind. Pepper, usually too shy to venture into such dark places, bravely crawled under the sofa to retrieve her toy. Oliver watched in admiration, impressed by her courage. Pepper might be quiet, but she was determined. Her bravery shone through in moments like these. He learned that day that bravery came in different forms. It wasn't always about being the loudest or the most energetic. Sometimes, it was about facing your fears, no matter how small they seemed. One evening, Pepper wasn't feeling well. She had been her usual energetic self just the day before, chasing after shadows and pouncing on imaginary prey. But now, she seemed to have lost all her zest. She lay curled up in her bed, her nose cold and her ears drooping. Her once bright eyes were now dull, and she barely moved, even when her favorite treats were placed in front of her. Oliver, used to Pepper's playful antics, was worried. He had never seen her like this before. The usually lively and spirited Pepper was now a shadow of her former self, and it broke his heart. He sat beside her, purring softly and nudging her gently with his head. His purrs were a constant, soothing hum, a reminder that he was there for her, no matter what. He even brought her his favorite toy mouse, hoping to cheer her up. This toy had been the source of countless hours of fun, and he hoped it would bring a spark of joy to her eyes. Pepper couldn't muster the energy to play, but she purred weakly at Oliver's kindness. She appreciated his efforts, even if she couldn't show it the way she wanted to. The next morning, Pepper felt much better. She stretched her limbs and yawned, feeling a renewed sense of energy. The rest had done her good, and she was ready to face the day. She had learned that Oliver wasn't just a playful companion, but a true friend who would be there for her, no matter what. His unwavering support had made all the difference. Oliver was just happy to have his friend back. He had missed her playful spirit and was relieved to see her back to her old self. He headbutted Pepper affectionately and raced to the toy box, ready for a day of fun. The two friends were inseparable once more, ready to create new memories together. Oliver and Pepper taught everyone that friendship wasn't about being the same. It was about sharing adventures, big or small. It was about being there for each other, through thick and thin. They were different, but they were perfect together, and that's what made their friendship so special.